Hey, what's up, Edge Youth? It's Tommy here. Hey, we've had such a great month talking about relationships. We've learned how to define the relationship. We've learned some boundaries. And tonight we want to talk about you. We want to talk about defining your identity. Change is difficult and change has never been easy. So whether you're at a new school or whether you woke up one day and you've had some family news and your family will never be the same, change is something that none of us are able to run away from. But it's not necessarily the worst thing that we face. Something that is super difficult when it comes to change is self-inflicted change. So that's something like weight loss or a New Year's resolution. We have the ability to really push towards it and really build ourselves up when we get to that goal, or we have the full capability to just stop whenever we want, and that's what makes it so difficult. This past month we've had some really good conversations about relationships with you guys, and I know it's been a good month because you guys have been coming to us with your guys' stories and talking to me and Butler about the things that are going on in your guys' life. So I'm so glad that we're having change and we're having this momentum when it comes to relationship, but really none of this could happen without some self-inflicted change. So it starts in you. We need to learn how to be transformed and how to grow our identity in this. So in Luke chapter 19, verses 1 through 10, we hear a story about Jesus and a man named Zacchaeus. And it goes, "He entered Jericho and he was passing through, and behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was rich. He was seeking to see who Jesus was, but on account of the crowd he could not, because he was small in stature. So he ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree, for he was about to pass that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked to him and said, 'Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today.' So he hurried and came down and received him joyfully. And when he saw it, they all grumbled, 'He has gone to be in the guest of a man who was a sinner.' And Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, 'Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor, and if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I restore it fourfold.' And Jesus said to him, 'Today salvation has come to this house, since he is also a son of Abraham. And for the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost.'" So Zacchaeus was a man who already had an identity. He wasn't searching for a new identity. He had labeled himself as a tax collector, and this town had labeled him as a sinner. And because of who he was working for the enemy. He was taxing their tax, and he was altogether scum of the city. And so because of that, they weren't accepting of him, and he wasn't able to change his identity. But in order to have his self-inflicted change, he physically moved out of his way. I mean, the man climbed a tree in order to get a glimpse of Jesus. And in doing so, Jesus began to talk to him, right? And began to kind of show the town this lesson of what it's like to have your identity changed, right? To come into contact with the Most High God and how that becomes your new identity and you're able to change. So listen, without transformation, none of this is possible. Without transformation, you're the same person that you were yesterday. So whatever your school says you are, whatever you're acting like, that's the person that you're going to wake up and be tomorrow. So listen, when it comes to relationships, if you're not happy with yourself, you're not ready to share your life with someone else. If you're not ready to move on and to be better as an individual, you're not ready to share that with someone else. We get so caught up in looking for all the right people, looking for the right girlfriend, looking for the right boyfriend, looking for the right relationship. But what I really want to encourage you guys tonight is to start working on yourself. Stop the search and use what you got. Stop the search and be ready to transform in yourself to become that right person for someone else, to become the right relationship for someone else. Some of you guys aren't ready to be in a relationship, and that's okay, because transformation has the ability to start tonight. So watch all of your boundaries and your relationships fall together once you guys have this transforming identity. Once you're able to do what Zacchaeus did and climb a tree. I'm just kidding, but have an opportunity to have some self-inflicted change starting tonight. Do not wake up the same way you came to youth tonight. And so we're going to have a couple of questions for you guys, and I really want to encourage you guys to dive in, because all of your leaders here and some of the students would not be where we are today without this transforming moment that really shaped us as individuals today, because now I know my identity, Butler knows hers, and the rest of the leaders here know where our identity stands in Christ. So we love you guys. Take tonight serious, and we'll see you next week.